It's after school, and Nathan Haug is out walking Bonnie, the family dog in Alpine, Utah, because it's his turn, and that's the kind of kid he is.
These are just like a fraction of all my merit badges.
On his way to Eagle Scout. Add a 3.75 grade average, student council, and the sports.
Father in heaven.
And his connection to his family. He is one of 8 children, and at 17, the oldest of those still living at home. And it almost doesn't fit that Nathan once managed to cover up from everybody a habit he could not shake, until he finally did. An addiction. Online pornography.
So 12 to 13, all the way up to probably 14, it was kind of there, uninterrupted. I became almost numb to it.
Meaning what?
It became such a part of my pretty much daily routine.
It was automatic.
It was automatic, yeah, exactly.
Nathan is far from alone. There is still little research on just how many U.S. kids are addicted to online pornography, but one study reports exposure can begin at a very young age, for some as young as 8 years old. Of course, pornography is nothing new, but we are a quantum leap now from the world where porn came in magazines and on VHS tapes to one where it is available via smartphones and tablets and, yes, at the push of a button. Nathan would view it late at night on the family computer. He got good at covering his tracks.
Eventually I got to deleting that and deleting specific searches and cleaning up my mess afterwards, to the time where I timed it masterfully.
It just did not fit at all into who he was in the rest of his life. A Mormon active in the church, and that hurt.
And so I felt like every day I was just incomplete, like there was a whole chunk of me missing, like a hole in my gut that just wasn't there.
What did that hole in your gut represent?
I felt like I couldn't be honest with people, and I wanted to honestly get to know other people.
Was this a lonely experience?
It was. I didn't think I could approach someone and get help, really. I was kind of trapped.
The warning signs for those who become addicted may include depression, poor school performance, self-isolation, also lying.
It seemed silly to me. I would catch him in a lie and...
Silly things.
Yes. Like, why would you lie about that? It seemed unnecessary, but I could tell it had become a habit.
Studies show that 7 out of 10 teens have been accidentally exposed to pornography online. Boys are more likely to view it, but yes, girls get hooked too, like Brianne Saldivar of Austin, Texas.
I started to isolate myself because I hated what I was doing. I hated that I couldn't stop.
Brianne is now 22, but remembers how she was addicted during all of her high school years.
I would say that this is something that was not just me. I knew tons of students who were in my grade, my peers, who were struggling with the same thing.
We're at Bingham High School in South Jordan, Utah. It's a school-wide presentation by a group called Fight the New Drug, which is formulating a new kind of message on pornography. It's not that it's bad or weird to find images of sex a turn on. It's the opposite. That's normal.
There's an actual scientific explanation as to why...
And that's what's driving Clay Olson, one of the founders of Fight the New Drug.
This is the decision-making area of the brain.
His pitch up there isn't, you're bad or weird if you're hooked on porn. It's more, you've got a normal brain, and that's why porn has a hold on you.
See, it triggers a release that floods and overexposes that brain.
He's trying to destigmatize the habit enough so that kids who are hooked will seek help.
After pretty much every assembly we do, I have probably 2 or 3, sometimes 4 different teenagers coming up to me and telling me their story of how they are currently addicted.
And did that happen today?
Yeah, that happened today.
And the emails they get are heartbreaking.
I started when I was 8 for about a year until my parents found out. Then I stopped, but it came back 10 times harder. Just about a year and a half ago.
While not yet formally recognized by the American Psychological Association as a listed addiction, people who work in the field, like psychotherapist Matt Bulkley, definitely are treating it as one.
A lot of times the pornography becomes a coping style. It becomes a way that they deal with negative emotions in their life. Pornography provides a euphoria. It provides a high.
And Matt Bulkley warns,
I think we're at the front end of it. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, as this rising generation moves into adolescence, I think that we're going to have an epidemic, really.
We're just at the beginning of it?
Absolutely.
Brianne now appears on the Fight the New Drug site as someone who beat the addiction, because that's the good news. The addiction can be beaten.
Because all it takes is for someone to say, oh my gosh, I am addicted. This is an addiction. Women do go through this.
The point finally came for Nathan Haug, too. He began a program the church had designed. He got himself unhooked, and now he's putting himself out there to help other kids who are trapped.
I know there will be someone out there in my life, and they'll have this attitude. They'll maybe tease me if they want, but it's not up to me to care, because for all I know, they're suffering from the same problem.
So today, he's back on track. And that iPod Touch he's listening to, it's set up so that even by accident, no kind of risque image can get in there, because as he and many other kids know, that's how it starts, if you're not careful. I'm John Donvan for Nightline in Alpine, Utah.